welcome, guys. Welcome back. It's the Marriage and Money Podcast.
Yes, it is.
With Egypt and Mike. And you know what? Some of these online conversations and dialogues about our relationship are really cracking me up. Number one.
How so?
Well, I'm happy that you take us so personal, that you watch our show on HGTV and you listen to the podcast.
Appreciate
so
the support.
thank you for being so vested in our happiness. But there were some women who, when I shared how the lady walked up to me and was like, girl, your husband is so fine.
Okay.
She walked up to me in one of the big box stores. Not hi, Egypt. Not, hey, I enjoy your show. Just, girl, that man of yours, he is fine. And I busted out laughing because it was just like, number one, I know my husband is good looking. I believe he is as well. Thank you,
baby.
You know, so I don't get offended. But the conversation, people thought I should be offended. They were like, girl, did you let her just walk up to you like that? That was so disrespectful. You should have put her in her place. You should have checked her not to look at you. Why? She has eyes.
You talking about the conversation that happened online?
I'm talking about not that she did it, but people's reaction to how they thought I should have reacted to it. I'm not the jealous type. Okay, as you stare at me, because you know that's not true. I'm not. I have been jealous. I have been. But I'm not the jealous type to where he can't go out and breathe. This relationship would have never worked because at the end of the day,
So there's levels to it.
There's levels to it.
Okay, what level you on?
Well, what's the high level? What's the level high? Like 10? Level 10?
I don't know. Where you at? In the middle or you at the
I
top?
think I'm at about a 5.
You're at about a 5?
Early in our relationship, I was probably an 8.
Okay.
Because there was just a lot of like residual stuff.
Right, you had a lot of past going on.
No, I'm talking about your residuals. Sip on that.
All righty then. Okay. I opened up Pandora's box, I see, but we're going to take it there.
Well, I'm just saying, I do believe there's a line you can't cross. Especially if someone's in the public eye. At the end of the day, they're still people.
Yes.
If you come up to us together, and this has happened, because you have a fan club. And
According to her.
Most of them are 65 and older. And they live in Florida. So when we go to visit Florida, we stop at the diner and Mike just gets swarmed. You would think he's Tom Cruise. You know, he gets swarmed by the 65 and older women. And they'll come all up. But see, they don't care because they're like, little girl, you know. So, little girl, you already know. So they don't care. They'll just come up to him. They've rubbed his head in front of me. They've grabbed his face. They'll just come up and take pictures of him eating. And one was like, in my day, I would have. Now that's disrespectful because I'm sitting right there with our kids, and you're like, in your day you would have what?
So
Francis?
Do you consider that crossing the line?
That's crossing the line, but then you can't be married. I'm sorry, you can't be mad because it is kind of funny that somebody's grandma is like, in my day, I would have, whoo boy, like you would have what, Fleming?
So let me ask you this: if they were a younger person saying that, would you react different?
Well, yeah, I think that you can't run up on, just because you watch someone, you can't run up on them and start touching them. You know, like they just can't run up. Mike, oh, you're so handsome. Oh, you're so cute. Look at all that salt and pepper.
Hold on,
like,
we're not going to put this all on me right now, okay?
What?
Because I'm sitting next to a sexy stallion of a woman right now, and it's all day, every day. You know, the DMs be popping, but I be having to burst those bubbles, okay?
No, my DMs are not popping.
Listen.
But my DMs are not popping. Do you go in my DMs?
I don't go in your DMs. I wouldn't even know, but I'm just going to assume they are.
2 incidents where 2 exes from like eons ago reached out to me, but they were just saying
That's
hi.
where the line gets crossed.
But he said that was crossing the line, that they reached out in the first place.
But you see, I here's the thing. Devil's advocate, I get it. I get it. They're going to try and see. They're going to test you. It has nothing to do with me. But at the same time, knowing that I literally shook your hand and met you, and you know things are good, you're crossing the line.
He thinks they're just like waiting in the wings. All right, for 18 years they're waiting in the wings. Anyway, we have guests.
They riding that friend. They trying to ride a friend.
Well, you remember that when Dolores, Thelma, and Dolores, Thelma, and Gladys stop us in the diner next time and talk about, boy, I would have thrown it on you back in the day. You remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about our
We done
guests.
took it to the Golden Girls.
Well, these guys are personal friends of ours.
Yes, they
and let me just say, they're both just lovely, dynamic people, super talented in their own right. You have seen him on Greenleaf.
Yep.
On Why Did I Get Married?
Yep.
On, oh goodness, The Black Hamptons. Have you watched that?
Dope show.
And he was on the final season of Queen Sugar.
Yes.
Actor, lead man, Lamman Rucker.
Yes.
And ladies, hands off, he's married. And he's here with his beautiful wife, Kelly Rucker, who, by the way, is an engineer and a day trader.
Yes.
So she got brains and beauty.
Watch out now.
Help us welcome them to the show.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
This is hysterical.
What?
Us sitting around a table, like,
really.
because we're so used to sitting around tables,
Yes.
like on
Yes.
vacation with the kids,
Right.
or just chilling, right,
Right.
Kels?
Yeah.
Or
And I'll even say, this is full circle, even just for me and you, because you've been my homie for so long. And I remember 20 years ago, neither one of us had,
You didn't
That is
exist.
true.
these
You didn't
additions
exist.
and these beautiful assets in
Yeah.
our lives. So it's wonderful as a friend just to see you where you are and to see
Growth.
you all together.
Same to
Thanks
you,
for being here for
Lamman.
my sister.
Yes.
To think
yes.
that way back when, so I was a radio personality in New York at the time, and you were on the soaps.
Yep.
What was the soap opera?
Probably As the World Turns. at the
As
time.
the World Turns.
Wow.
20 years
And
ago.
Wow.
and I interviewed him,
Yeah.
which is where we first met. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't even think that I would know you 20 some odd years later, and that I'd be friends with your wife. She's my homie.
I
you know?
I take all of his
That's
friends.
what I keep telling her.
Like, I
Stop
feel
stealing my
all of
girls,
his
dog.
friends.
At first, she was
I was
uncomfortable
like, why
meeting
you got
friends
all
like
these
you.
friends?
Okay.
Really? Why?
Absolutely.
Because
Because
all his
friends
friends
like you.
are like beautiful and smart and awesome,
And
and I'm
successful
like,
and all these industry women, whatever.
Yeah.
It's that kind of
but
feeling.
Yeah.
then,
that
and then
stigma,
I just take
right?
all of them.
You take
from
them all.
him.
And then I keep telling her, I was like, nah, man,
Yeah.
there's a reason
Yeah.
why. You'll see, right?
Yeah.
We're
And
good
he said
people.
he did say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
He
just 'cause
chooses
she-
good
yeah.
people.
Well,
Yes.
you went there with it. How does that make you feel? Being the person married to the person that is engulfed in this business.
Yeah, at first it was really hard, but we had a lot of conversations where he helped me kind of get through it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know if I could have gotten through it if he hadn't really dedicated a lot of time to helping me figure out and navigate through all of the women that are always constantly throwing themselves at him. But I mean, also entertainment business is very different than where I come from. I come from an engineering background where
Right.
I'm behind a computer all the time, and I specifically chose that career because I'm not an extrovert really. So, a lot of it is because of him and him helping me navigate. So.
That's
But
awesome.
I got to give her credit just the same because that bigger adjustment, so to speak, might have been more hers than me. But I think that's the thing. I had to adjust on how to let her into my life, but also adjust the way I'm used to getting down to making it work for her too.
Right.
Yeah.
But similarly, if had she not been willing to cooperate
Right.
and listen and trust me and make some of these adjustments, so it's just as much a
Okay.
credit to
Right.
her.
You're a leading man. You're like on the big screen, when people go to the movies or on TV. And so women on the daily and the Golden Girl Club, Mike, y'all probably have that.
For sure.
Y'all go,
Well,
girl, ladies. No,
It's probably my
I'm
Aunt
just-
They're
Gladys
the
that was
worst.
sweating
Yeah,
you.
Aunt Gladys.
No, they're
shout
the
out.
worst.
The older women.
Oh my God, they're so aggressive.
Give a story. Give one
mature.
story. Give one story. Come on.
I mean, I've been elbowed,
No.
elbowed out the way, like kind of like how you said, little girl, like move.
Move,
what
let
I'm
a
saying?
grown woman
And-
come
and
in
can
here.
you take my, like I'm his
Yeah.
professional photographer.
Right.
I'm
And they're the
like-
ones that touch you.
Oh yeah,
The most.
excessively.
You've had your butt pinched?
Oh, many times.
He lit up on that one. Oh, many times.
Oh, many times.
Oh yeah,
Do the right butt cheek.
many times.
I think it takes a very strong,
inappropriate.
self-assured woman, comfortable in her own skin,
Yes.
to be able to be married to not just a Lamman, but I think about men that are in the public eye, who women on a daily lust after
Right.
and aggressively pursue. It takes a very strong, secure woman in it, and you got to have a lot of trust.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it wasn't always there, and it wasn't. I've gradually gotten to this point, but I mean, it does take a lot of effort.
Right. Right.
Like I have to choose to be okay with it every day.
You've been
And I
married.
had to earn it.
How did you earn it?
I had to earn it.
How? What did you do?
Well, by being a man of my word,
Yes.
Yeah.
by also listening to her and really listening. And sometimes that's going beyond just what is being said and what you're hearing, but listening with, your heart, your intuition. Okay, what is she really asking for?
Right.
It's not, is she saying that she doesn't trust me, or is she just saying, see me more, pay a little bit more attention, include me in the conversation?
Yes.
But, it's like, there's so sometimes it's like, what are we really actually talking about? And that's when you're actually getting to know each other. Because then it's not just the thing in the moment. It's like, oh, what is she asking for and why?
Right.
Right. And then, okay, well, if that's what you're asking for, then what I need from you to help in the same moment, what will help me, and this is how you can help yourself, is, right?
To
and
communicate. He's a communicator.
And then it's like working
So
through it.
his
So then
thing
it's like,
is
so that was a big,
I think it's awesome of you, the fact that you even questioned yourself and thought about it, because as men, sometimes it's automatically either I'm gonna go into defense mode as I'm man,
right?
But
Don't ask me no questions.
The fact
woman.
that you said to yourself, okay, what is it that she really wants? Yeah. Just that moment alone is big, because men don't do that for the most part, right? So I think I applaud you on that. I want to go with the fact that you had 2 separate careers, right? Totally separate. How did you meet?
We met at a pool party in
Miami.
Miami.
What's your version?
Because I know there's 2 sides.
How have we known each other all these years? And I've never heard this story.
You never heard this story?
No.
I mean, we met each other at a pool party in Miami. Literally, I thought he was trying to holler at my cousin, who's very beautiful, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay, he's cute or whatever. But, all the women around the pool were like trying to get with them. And I'm like, okay, he's too cute. You know how
He knows he's cute.
Sometimes, that and sometimes a man can just be too fine. You'd be like, I'm good on that, right?
You don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
because
like,
you think
that's
it
too,
comes
that's
with
too much
headaches.
fine.
Yeah, it comes
Right.
with headaches and heartaches.
I'm like, I'm good.
She almost blocked her blessing.
I know, I did. For sure. Yes. But I had met someone like a couple of months before that, and I was dating him. And then he was dating somebody, but we actually still connected as friends.
Right.
So we didn't actually start dating until much later.
But at this pool party, you got her digits.
Yeah, we exchanged numbers.
So listen.
Wait, one
remember
second.
when
Lean forward, Kelly, when you talk a little bit. Go ahead.
We exchanged numbers.
Go ahead, because I know I hear your side coming.
You said early today, even struck a nerve. It's one of those things like when we know, or
Yes.
or even if it's not, she's the one.
Right.
There's a certain kind of intuition that we also have.
Oh, I knew my wife before I knew my wife.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it was like, out very vividly, I heard something say, "Don't let her leave." Plain and simple. That was the first thing that came, was like, "Don't let her leave." So there's a little bit of Miami. I'm already dating. I'm also trying to be a principled man, which is don't start something you can't finish.
Okay.
This is another fine one. Don't let this sister down by acting like you gonna do something or you gonna follow through, only to fade, only to not have enough hours in the day to give her the kind of attention she's gonna really require from you. Stuff like that. But at the same time, you're kind of talking yourself out of it, but you're also trying to make sure, okay, if I'm gonna take the next step, make sure you can take the step after that.
Gotcha.
But I'll never forget, all of that internal dialogue was still overshadowed by not this one.
Right.
Don't let her leave.
What was it? What,
She's in the I don't even.
She's
that's my
gorgeous,
point.
obviously. But what
you
was?
can't really articulate it because it's. And she was in a whole sea of all these
And my
other fine
friends are
sisters.
fine.
And they weren't
I hang
there.
out
You
with
know how
fine
when you see
Yeah.
there's a group of monsters.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god.
And all of them are monsters.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like we know we be like, yo, dog.
Yeah.
It was like, no, seriously, it was like
I know.
that kind of look. So I'm talking to her cousin who's sitting on the edge of the pool, and she's the cordial, sweet one. She's the bridge between everything they doing and all the other stuff me and my friends are doing in the pool.
Right.
So we just getting this casual conversation, just being cool, just being sociable.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking over, and I was like, who that?
Right.
I want that one. Like, Daddy, I want that one. You know? It was like, so there was just something I'll never forget. It was just something about her that
You can't explain
that
it.
I couldn't.
But we
I
didn't
couldn't
date.
let go.
We didn't date until, so that was 2005.
Yeah.
I say 5, he says 6, but whatever. 2005.
Wow, it was that long ago?
Yes. And then we started dating exclusively in 2012.
2012.
So 7 years later, you met each other in 2005, and you knew then there was something special about her.
And we kept in
You
touch.
kept in touch. Was it like you just weren't ready in that moment, but you couldn't let her out of your life?
Yeah, I think you have to respect, this concept of timing. You have to respect, again, even just that, just to stay on that particular, variable, right? Sometimes it's timing, and that timing is connected to maturity. Sometimes just circumstance, geography,
Yeah.
right? Things
Right.
like that. But there are ways that you can maintain the connection. But then it was like, there's perfect opportunity to see what she's actually made of. Just because I met her don't mean she really bout nothing.
Right.
Just because you're attractive, just because you got my attention don't mean you can keep my
it.
attention.
Right.
Right. All of that. So there was time to as opposed to seeing time and distance as a liability, we found a way to use that as an asset. And then when things just kind of happen to turn out, again, I'll give her the credit of she's the one that took the initiative to say, so we've been friends for a little while and we've hung out and we spent some time, we've done this. So, but what's up? I'm thinking about taking
Where's
this
this
to, and her timing
Right.
was impeccable.
So wait, so you met in 2005. 2012, is that when she asked the question?
No,
7
so it
years
was like
later?
2008 or 2000.
No, it was later, baby. It's
Okay,
like 10
so-
or 11, maybe 10.
Okay.
I think it was
One
like
of
10.
So maybe 5 years in,
So
she's
then
like, what
it
are we
was
doing?
it was New Year's
Yes, just
Eve or
after.
day, or New Year's
After
Day,
New
and I called my friend Tasha, and I'm like, Tasha, should I call him on? And girl, yeah, you've been waiting. You've been tripping. Why? You should have done this a long time ago. All right, girl, let me call him. So so the whole conversation was basically like, I mean, what you doing? What we
Right.
gonna do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know you've been trying to date me, kinda. I've been kind of trying to date you. Like, where are you at with your relationships? Like, you want to figure it out? He was like, well, I wish you had asked me this a week ago because I just took my ex to on vacation, but I came back with clarity. So,
Oh, you came back with clarity.
Did
What
I
was the
ever?
clarity?
Wow.
I'm done with that.
So,
I'm
and
done
so that's
there.
why he said
that was part of
my
it.
timing was
That's why the timing was
impeccable
so
Yeah.
because and sometimes you just have to lead. Like
Yeah.
that's something that I would never have done. Like I would never have just been that forward to kind of go like, hey, like, well, what you want to do type
Yeah.
thing. But I mean, something in me, my spirit said, no, don't let it. Just try. Don't let it get past.
So
you.
to all women out there, call that man.
Yeah, because it might
Like-
be your
And say,
husband.
what you
For
trying
real.
to do, boo?
What you trying to do?
But you know what?
Keep
Now
it
that
on
you-
the level. It's really
Yeah.
about because I feel like a lot of times people play these really
Yes.
stupid ass
Yes.
games.
Yes.
And there is this fallacy that women aren't supposed to speak up for
There we go.
themselves. There's this fallacy that you're not supposed to step up and step forward,
Yeah.
and that you're not supposed to come to me.
There we go.
I'm just supposed
And
to
it was-
chase you.
but it
I
was
need you
hard.
to also step this way.
Right.
Meet me halfway.
Right.
And and talk to me. Let
Right.
me know what's. Oh, really?
Right.
But I mean,
Alright.
I said I wanted him, and I went ahead and told him that
right.
I
You
wanted
told him how you felt
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And that, like, do you recall those words, hearing them from her? What did she say that moved you to
You know
step
what?
forward?
It was really. I mean, part of it was like, again, me like.
Oh, you were
Right?
always
It
about
was,
her.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, yeah, absolutely. But it was also, I mean, I can't think of, again, I don't remember the words as vividly as I remember "Don't let her leave," right?
Yeah.
But I do still remember, softening up to her, softening up for her in that moment in a different kind of way. And part of it was also her humility in that moment, right? Her transparency in that moment,
Yes.
her the courage that she showed in that moment. There were all these little things that now that I think back about it, they're all probably these little tiny little pings that were happening. And there's also, for lack of a better word, there's almost an accountability too. That I think a lot of men really want from
Yes.
women, and that's so important. And part of it is, and it's not, that doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, but it was just kind of like I'm willing, I'm ready, I'm available,
Right.
and I'm ready to do my part.
And you can't read my mind, so let me tell you.
yeah,
Right.
it was
Yes.
like I'm here.
Yes.
Here I am
Yes.
doing my part.
Yeah.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, he said, "Well, I'm not really in a position to like I don't really want to explore,
Yeah, I wouldn't
Really?
have called her.
a relationship." But I said, "Well, will you just be open?"
Yeah.
And he said, I'll be open. And I mean, I was like, okay, well, I know that it might not, nothing might come out of this, but at least let's try. Right.
You know what's interesting
that's
about I will
something,
not
But because of
call
where
I'm
I
sorry.
was still closing that door, I wouldn't have made that phone call just yet.
I just can I live in that for a minute?
Yeah.
I'm asking myself, would I have had the courage to say what she said?
It was hard.
And there was a lot of humility in that.
Yeah, and
It's
I've
like,
never
this
done
is the
that.
man I want, and he's been in my life for a long time. Maybe he needs to hear from me how I really feel, what I want. Because he's not a mind reader, right? But also let me assert myself.
That's
right? And to say,
extremely.
can we give it a shot?
It's
Oh, my
extremely
goodness, I don't-
attractive.
Thank you.
So attractive because
That's courage.
possibly in his head, but I know in general. So there's years in between. So he's like, okay, all right, she is sexy, she's attractive. We have been in communication, but just like, again, this is a mindset. Just like every other girl, she's putting up this front. So
Right.
I'm not gonna come at her, right?
Right.
Especially when you know she's the one. You're like, I'm. When she's ready, she'll let me know, right?
Right.
That's not how it happened with us.
I'm talking about their situation, okay? So,
And you don't know that that's not what was in his mind at certain points at
Right.
certain times.
Fair.
right.
That's fair.
So
It's a phase of thinking that we go through.
it's
right?
like, okay, this the one. I ain't gonna mess it up. So when she's ready, she's ready. For instance, like before her, when I was ever in a club or anything, and if I saw someone that was attractive, like I'm not talking to her because I just watched 5 guys talk to her.
Right.
So she's probably pissed off and annoyed. So whatever. If she happens to look my way, she shows interest, then I'll say hi, right? So it's kind of like that. So when you called, it was like, she's ready. Let me hear what she has to say because I've been waiting for her.
Right.
Right? So, but now that you made that call, it's like everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got a
And then
question.
remember my poem? So I did this piece called Waiting on You. That
Because of her?
Well, I believe yes, but
Okay.
no. Indirectly, intuitively, absolutely. I believe that's exactly what I was saying. And I didn't even make the connection at the time. And then after I did it, I was like, and even I say in the poem, like, who are you? Like, do I know you? Right? Are you here? Like there was always this concept that whoever she is, whoever she's gonna be, she's probably right under my nose. And,
Yep.
and she showed
And I
up.
was.
So this is 7 years of marriage.
7 years next on the 26th of
26,
December.
7 years.
People used to tell Mike and I when we were approaching 7 years,
I was-
they were like, all right, are y'all getting a 7-year itch?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard that?
I've heard of it, but
Don't believe it.
I'm not itching.
Please
I'm
don't
not
believe it.
itching
Don't
either.
fall. You was seriously itching because
I
of what's.
itching? I was
Listen,
asking
if
you
it's on
you were
Google,
itching, but I
tell her
wasn't
not to
itching.
Google it because she gonna start feeling whatever Google say.
I'm
You
a
know
Google
they say it's a
maniac.
7-year
I am
itch,
a
right?
Google
I'm
maniac.
feeling it, babe. You all right?
Right.
Because things don't seem right.
It
You
is
was mad at me yesterday. It's a
self-imposed,
7 year.
right.
Like, would you stop?
know.
It ain't got nothing to do
But
with
I
that.
gotta be
wasn't.
so
No, that's not
careful
what I
about
mean.
stuff like that.
I wasn't dissatisfied in our
No,
relationship.
I didn't say you were,
I
but
wasn't
everything.
anxious in our relationship.
Every time something went wrong, you be like, you know, it's 7 years, right? So we gotta be careful. Like, what are you talking about?
That's true. The power of suggestion.
Yeah.
You know what? Kelly is the only person that I don't feel crazy around.
And same with you.
Right. I can. See, I'm
She
just
said
gonna-
that before about
She
you.
said that about me
Of
too.
She said
course.
that about you.
Yeah, because I'll be sitting there saying, I think I should start prepping and have a secondary pantry, and I should,
Of
I should
course.
start
A bunker,
doomsday prepping.
all that stuff.
I should have a bunker.
Yeah.
And then I'll text Kelly, what do you think about a bunker? She's like, I was just thinking about having a bunker. I was just doomsday prepping Egypt. I was
Literally.
literally just doomsday.
Yep.
So we're a little bit, we're maniacal, but
Yes.
someday somebody might be really happy that you and I are as
Oh.
lunatics about planning as we are.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Yeah.
separate from
Sometimes I'll be
that.
so bad at you, each other. Like,
You're mad at me.
I'm like, Egypt said.
I'll be wanting to hit you myself.
Yeah.
Be like, stop talking to her. This
So-
month.
Like
so
what?
look,
What
I'm like,
incident
Egypt, don't
happened?
call her this month, please. Don't answer her text.
Like the
What happened?
Probably like the gold bars and
Oh, yeah, I
the
went and bought some
silver
gold.
and stuff like that.
Oh, I stand beside that.
yeah.
Lamman, what? Tell
I'm
me
not
what
saying
you
I
think.
don't. I'm just saying that's one of the many things
My
that I
latest
know
thing is, like,
has
solar
gone further
panels.
with you, with you. Yeah, these are.
I never
they're not bad
suggested
ideas.
solar panels to Kelly.
No, she didn't. But
Oh, I'm sure she suggested them to you.
She did. I got that conversation. Now I remember that conversation.
So,
yeah,
hey,
she
so
did.
dog, When it
goes
comes,
both ways.
when it lands on you, call me.
It goes both ways.
Then you call me.
Because there was something y'all were doing out in the field or something that she was like, we got to go out in the field with them because they got this thing going on. And I'm like,
No, that was Kelly
Y'all
and I
remember.
talking about wanting to do the vegetable garden.
No.
And she was
'Cause we were at
referring
the
her
garden.
friend to me to help set up our vegetable
no, it
garden.
was something else.
Oh, my
something
gosh.
else. But either way, that doesn't matter. 7 years in, how do you feel in this moment about each other?
Oh, what does that mean? I'm not sure what you mean.
Literally right now
Like
in this
lessons
moment,
learned.
7
Are you
years
deeper in love or
I
like
think I'm deeper in
yeah.
love for sure. And now we have a baby
Problem.
yeah.
who definitely has like brought this interesting type of love and joy that I never thought we could have. And so, yeah,
Mom's over there smiling.
because
Said, baby, he's smiling.
our baby's amazing and he's amazing. I just have the best husband. That's all I have to say.
That's all.
We don't have to say a whole bunch. He's just awesome.
And she's doing
Ugh.
like more than a bang up job as a mom. And this is something that I have to admit.
Mm-hmm.
When we first met, I did not think we'd be here.
Parents?
She even admitted to me that she didn't want to get married or didn't think she would ever be married.
Okay.
I didn't think, not only did I not think that I would ever possibly get married or have children, we didn't think that we were going, so there's all these different things. So it's just like the way this picture and this story and this, journey has evolved over time. It's a testament to us, jointly as an evolution and as a union, but it's also to the witness of, one another. So
Yeah.
my witness, of her life and her growth and her evolution as a woman, as a human being, but in particular, as a wife and as a mother.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happy.
He's definitely stretched me into like.
But it's clear
becoming a
that y'all
better
are in
person.
love. Just being around you, it's clear that you're still in love.
Yeah.
Y'all understand? They in love.
And in
all that.
deep like.
But here's
And I like him. Yes.
Wait,
there, I was
that
about to
again.
say, there we
Say it
go.
again.
I was about to throw it at you.
we
I
like
was
it
about to throw it
and
at
we
you.
like each other.
There we
That's
go.
so important.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Some people, they'll love each other, they're attracted to each other, but they would have never survived the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah, and I
Many
think
that did not.
it just made us stronger.
It did.
And we were pregnant.
Ugh.
So there's some folks who would have strangled each other, as opposed to for us, it really gave us a whole nother level of like incubation and intimacy and focus on each other and on our home, our family, our environment. The principles of marriage and of parenting. Like you had it was work happening,
Right.
but it was actually really nice. Like I was like, oh, I ain't gotta go nowhere. I can just be here. I can serve my
enjoy each
wife.
other.
I can,
Yeah.
like really just be there.
Do y'all have a marriage philosophy?
So sort of.
What would you say?
I would say that he always has said, always, no matter what, always speak to me in love, or let's always speak to each other in a loving way. Like no matter what kind of shitty ass mood you're in, or no matter what's going on, if we're on the same team, and we should always speak to each other as if we are actual teammates.
Okay.
And I mean I used to play all types of sports, so that resonates a lot with me. So that's kind of our motto.
When did that start?
The very beginning. That was like something that he definitely requested of me. Like, look, okay, so I suffer from something called watch your damn tone, Kelly.
Syndrome.
Disease syndrome. So that's what I suffer from every damn day. And he's just like,
That what you got?
Kelly,
Okay.
watch your damn tone.
Right. Got it.
So for all the women that understand what the
Got
hell I'm
it.
talking about, that's the disease I have, and I'm working to get it rectified currently.
Oh, that's good.
WDT. Got it.
Watch your damn tone.
Got it.
Yo, that's funny as hell. I swear to God. Hey, you heard it here first, so like y'all make sure we coin that.
But that's
No,
actually
that's
very
good.
important in any relationship.
It is.
Because
Men
it's
too.
not what you say, it's how you say it.
No doubt about it.
That makes a big difference in
No
relationships.
doubt about it.
But honestly, my mom has always told me that it's like I have a tone about me. I don't know if that's a Scorpio in me or what. I'm not sure, but I've been.
It's all y'all
It's
do
been
that. Your mom, your sister,
something
like
that has been told to me very early, like
Yeah.
Kelly, it's not what you say.
Right.
How you
Yeah.
say
So
it.
I've been trying to,
Do you
really.
speak with your body language and face a
Oh,
lot?
Can you tell? I mean, I'm sure.
I tell this one all the time. Like her thing is that is 1,000 words.
I'm like, what did I say?
And I'm
I
like,
only
why'd
said-
you just huff? What? What did I do? What? Nothing. Then she'll go, I was just messing with it. No, you wasn't. That huff was to me. What?
But you know what? Sometimes I believe it's so subconscious.
Yeah.
They don't even
Yep.
catch it.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like I said, I talk about men being intuitive. We're also very observant. There's
Very
some
much
stuff
so.
we're completely clueless about, and there's other stuff it's like, I saw that. She has no idea what just happened,
Yep.
but I saw that. So especially when we love you, especially when we live with you,
Yes.
especially when we are connected to you, even if you don't do it or say it, sometimes we can just feel it.
feel the
even-
energy.
So that's
Yes.
another thing early on I remember us talking about. It was like as far as like roles and energy and emotion and spirit, it's just like I remember saying I was like, all right, so I feel like emotionally the tone and the energy that our day and our home is going to have is based on you.
Yeah.
So if you're not in a good mood, or if, like she said, if you talking to me weird, or depending on your body language, or like whatever's happening, I can sense it.
Yeah.
So it's going to put me in a space depending on where you are. So then I just need to know, do I need to give you some room?
Yeah.
Do I need to just move along with the energy that I'm moving with no matter what's going on with you? I can't ignore you. I love you too much to ignore you. But I got to, but it's learning, how do we navigate? Do I need to come closer to you because you need me? Even though you might not know you do? Does that mean touch you?
But
Does
I like
that mean
that you
talk to you?
ask
Does that
those
mean
questions.
It's
about
just
yourself.
figuring out.
Right.
That's important that
But this
you
is the kind of stuff
ask
we
those
try to
questions of
communicate
yourself.
early on to try
Yeah.
to get to know each
Yeah.
other, so we learn how to like navigate and flow with
Yeah.
each other. And sometimes you're flowing around each other because
Yeah.
you're still individuals.
Yeah.
What's the secret sauce, Cal? What's the secret? In other words,
know it.
clearly you have a marriage and a relationship and friendship that's working.
Yes.
What's the secret sauce?
We choose each other every day. Like I, specifically, consciously choose him every single day to love him, to be his wife, to be his partner, and he chooses me as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a choice
Right.
to be with each other and to love each other, and so I think that's the.
I'm gonna tell you
secret
something.
And I
sauce.
might almost say the opposite, to be honest with you. And this is maybe what the balance is. There's absolute power and validity in what she said, but I already chose her. I don't need to choose her every day. That decision has been made. Even as long as it took us to get married, I remember even telling her, hey, like chill, like back off. I'm gonna do this when I'm ready to do this, because when I do it, it's done. So I don't have to choose her every day. So for me, it's that choice has been made, and for me, it's what are we building on top of that? That foundation is there. That our beginning is begun. Now every day is, all right, how are we, like, how big is this house we're building? How strong is the structure gonna be? Like, to me, it's like that. I look at it again. The engineer in me is like that. Like, I'm building this with you in partnership with you. I've already made this decision. This commitment is already like, it's solid. I ain't going nowhere. So now, how do we strengthen that decision?
Right.
Does that make sense?
It
Yeah.
does.
It's kind of the same thing, but it's just a different approach to. And this, but that's why that's why you compliment.
We've
each
had
other.
a lot of people sit at this
that
table
make
with
sense?
us. I've never
Got it.
felt a dichotomy like what I'm feeling from you. I don't even think with us sitting at the many tables that we sat at that I felt it the way that I feel it. And I'm provoked to ask this question. I feel a very clear balance of feminine and masculine with you two. Like I definitely feel like she's resting in her femininity. I definitely feel like you are like mastering your masculine. You know what I mean?
And most of the time, I feel exactly the opposite.
Well, why do you feel opposite?
I love it.
But
I
feel
love
that
this.
right now. Is it me?
I love
Aren't you
this.
feeling that?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I can't not be that because I'm a man. Like,
But
that's
why do you-
natural. That's inert. That's innate.
Yep.
But that's funny because often I feel exactly the opposite.
Yes, I know the
Often.
feeling.
Well, because I have a lot
Often.
of male energy.
Yeah.
But that's not a complaint, baby.
No, but I do.
Oh, okay. No, but that's not a complaint.
But I have a lot lot of male energy.
Okay, as you should. You're a woman. You're supposed to have both,
Oh,
and
but
that's the thing. And as men, we're supposed to have both.
Correct.
And that's a misconception.
Correct.
But how do you get, even in times where you're off balance? We've been off balance, and we've had to talk
I don't
about
believe
it.
it's off
How do you
balance.
rebalance?
I don't believe it's off balance. It's just it's understanding that the balance can shift.
Yeah.
There could be a moment where more of her male energy is showing up in that moment, and so is more of your feminine energy is showing up in that moment. You got to be man enough to understand that and be okay with it.
Right.
Be like,
Right.
okay, that doesn't mean
That
you're being
we
a bitch
all
right
have-
now.
Exactly.
We all have
Right.
that duality.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
Exactly.
all.
We
So
all have that.
sometimes it's let her lead, or
And you're right, and
sometimes
the awareness.
yeah, and that doesn't mean that male energy is always the energy
Right.
that's leading either.
Right.
So you just got to be careful what
How
you're
does-
agreeing to.
How does
you're
that play
agreeing
in
to.
your finances?
What you
I mean,
think?
he's the
I'll probably
he's
take
the
more of the lead
breadwinner.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
is that male energy or feminine energy?
No, it's really, honestly.
That's what I'm. So
There's
I'm
neither.
just saying. I'm
It's
being
neither-
facetious,
it's neither.
but
It's
you know
like
what I'm saying?
who's better with it,
Right. That's all.
or
Exactly.
who likes to do that. Like I
Right.
personally like to sit at the table. It's like my obsession
Yep.
to sit at the table and audit everything and go over and make a plan, and probably more than I should. And Mike just lets me have it. He's like, "Go at
And
it."
I
I'm
don't
gonna be
mind
over
it.
here drinking a beer.
It's like that's your strong point. It doesn't
Yeah.
make me any less of a man, and doesn't
Exactly.
mean I don't know how to do it. But you killing it,
Right.
Why interfere,
And
right?
that's how I feel
Until
about
you
him.
need me.
And vice versa. Like I'm over here building this. I'm good. Let me do it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So you hit it on the head with that, because a lot of men, I say all the time with the girls, I have 3 girls. I say all the time, loving them more doesn't make you any less of a man, because as men, sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm not braiding her hair. Oh, I'm not doing that. That's so What are you talking about,
Right.
brother?
Right.
And I say that to say, as far as brothers, I sit here and we've sat at many tables and had several conversations. You're a good brother, and we don't say that to each other enough. You feel what I'm saying? And every time you talk, you inspire others, which you do in your career as well, right? So you also have a foundation that you created where you speak to men that are going through hardships and dealing with certain things.
Is that
and
Heal Bro?
always doing it.
So the Just Heal Bro tour is something separate from my nonprofit, but they're connected in the themes of the work that we do, supporting men and pouring into Black men and boys of color. So my nonprofit is called the Black Gents, and initially our thing was really focused on our lives as artists, on being a model and example of Black manhood, brotherhood, fatherhood, but also more specifically using our gifts and the creative gift in all of us, period,
Right.
across the board for all people, and using your creative gift for positive and social change. So as we start checking boxes, we're creative, we're performing artists, we're children of God, we're boys, we're men, we're Black men, we're fathers, we're husbands, we're this, we're that. So how can we use all of those assets and use the arts as the primary tool for, so it's education, entertainment, and empowerment through the arts. That's our major thing. So then that connects with this mental health
Just
piece.
Heal Bro,
Exactly,
which
because
is-
now it's just a matter of, well, how are you using your voice, your platform, your model for manhood, fatherhood,
Right.
brotherhood,
Right.
husbandhood, right? All of this stuff. How are we now speaking to each other to be examples and assets for each other? Again, creating safe space, as you said, so that men can really talk openly and transparently and vulnerably about what's really going on with
Exactly.
And I don't think, as a whole, when I think about it, men really don't have an outlet the
No.
way we'll call a girls' night. We'll have a girls' conference call.
Yeah.
We'll turn on OWN.
Yeah.
We'll,
Right.
and we use that as our catharsis. I think it's more socially. It has been more socially acceptable for women to be able to be vulnerable,
That's
let
right.
our arm down, for us to even cry
right.
on each other. And I love that you're creating a space where men can do the same.
Yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Mike participated in some events this year where he wouldn't even tell me what they talked about. He just said it was so necessary because there were literally men who were considering suicide.
Absolutely.
There were men who were contemplating divorce, who after
Yes.
talking to other men, they helped them through it and how to
Right.
recalibrate.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
I mean,
that. We need
depression,
more.
suicide,
Yeah.
sexual assault. Some
Yep.
of them have been molested, violated, raped, like whatever. Like
Yeah.
you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Like there are some, some painful, traumatic, experiences for some. But it's not all about this the negative experiences. It's
Exactly.
even just like, hey
Exactly.
man, my life is great.
Exactly.
But how the help? Like, I need some help.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to do this by myself. So,
Uh-huh.
you know, like, how can I get some support? Or, hey, I'm available to support some folks. Like, this is what I do. This is what I know. So it's also that. It's really just kind of galvanizing together, mobilizing together, building together, supporting and leaning into each other.
And
not being
where can
afraid
people
to do
find
that.
out more, Lamman, about?
So at Just Heal Bro across all social media platforms, Just Heal, JustHealBro, or justheal.co, not justheal.com, justheal.co.
Got it.
Okay,
Got
so we
it.
like to
Coming to a city near
leave
you.
with coming to a city near you.
Right.
One to go on, one to grow on.
Yeah.
Do you want to pass the mic and let them do it this time, or you want to do it?
I think we should all indulge.
Okay. We love to leave everybody with just like food for thought
that?
or some
Okay.
tips. There's some
Yeah.
important takeaways.
Oh, okay.
One to go on and one to grow on. What comes to mind for you?
Ooh, me first? You would do that to me first.
Let's show them how we do it then.
Yeah, show us first.
Oh, yeah,
So
there you
I'll
go. I
take
appreciate that.
one to grow on.
Okay.
So usually when I sit at this table is where I gather my thoughts. I get inspired from what people say. So my grow on is just that. Don't be afraid to grow. As a person, in relationships, etc., and know that you need to be able to speak your mind and tell the person that you're with that you're growing. Because if you grow too far from that person, there can be a disconnect. So you got to voice the fact, hey, I'm a different person now from when you met me.
And meet each
There's
other again.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
That's
Growth.
powerful,
I like
Mike.
that.
That's
Yeah.
profound. I like that.
I think what I really got from this, and especially your story, it's all about timing. You know, it's not about when you want. And sometimes we try to force and push and pull and tug things to fit in the box or to fit in our vision boards.
Right, right.
My vision board said I'm gonna be married by 30.
Right,
Where he
right.
at?
Right.
You know, versus letting things happen in God's perfect divine time, letting relationships organically evolve into something beautiful that can really sustain
Yes.
all that life brings us.
Right. I love that. So my thing is,
Yeah, you lead, baby.
I'll just lead by saying, I'll say that I'm just so happy that you have such great friends because I would not have been, introduced to Egypt and Mike and some of our other great friends. But, I guess thank you for allowing me to, I don't know if this is a thank you to you. Thank you for allowing me to be who I am and for always accepting me for who I am and for loving me despite my whack ass tone that I often have.
What was the disease again?
WDT.
Watch your
Watch
tone.
your tone.
Watch your tone disease.
Watch your tone disease.
No, but thank you.
And there's a helpline for watch your tone disease.
there is.
Call 1-800.
Numbers at the bottom of the screen.
Wikipedia will tell you that. No. But
Somebody
no,
gonna beat
but
us to the
so I
domain
guess,
name.
yeah, so thank you for, this isn't
Okay,
a
well,
one
this
to grow on. This is just a thank you.
this is exactly where we're gonna go. So again, I'm gonna
Oh,
follow you.
like-
Just the same. Thank you for being yourself. Thanks for having the courage to just be yourself and trust me trust what I asked and to believe that I meant what I said. Because without you taking the courage to do so, and that's something that, again, you talk about a philosophy. This is something that we talked about is maybe something to go on or whatever. Is trusting that you being yourself is enough. I told you early on, what I want is you.
Yep.
You.
Look.
Period.
There it is.
You know,
There it is.
The
Poetry
real
in
you,
motion.
all of you.
Yes.
He
Yes.
was like,
Yeah.
I want to see the ugly side of you. I want to
I don't care how
want
fine you
you.
are. I don't trust you till I seen how ugly you are. I don't trust
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
There it
You know what I'm
is.
saying? So it's
true.
like, just that. It's like, so
You're not just saying outward appearance. You're talking about
absolutely
inward,
you,
like,
all of
just
you,
like,
baby. The tone. I'm a grown ass man. I can deal with that tone. We can so the fact that you brought that up, I ain't worried
Right.
about that shit. Like
Right.
I'm here. So if that's part of what comes along with you, then work with me to
Yes.
work with you to work with
me
that and work through that.
Give me everything you got so I know what I'm dealing
yeah.
with.
That's exactly what he says.
Give me
Oh my
everything
gosh.
you got.
Are y'all listening?
Yes.
Yeah, we men. This is everything.
Okay. They're our friends. We love them.
Yeah, ladies and
Lamman
gentlemen.
Kelly Rucker.
Marriage and Money Podcast with Egypt and Mike. Make sure you tell a friend to tune in to Married to Real Estate on HGTV.
That's our HGTV show to watch us. All right, we love you guys.
Appreciate you.
Bye. Bye.